Welcome to Healing Whispers and Superfood Secrets, the podcast where we delve into the realms of holistic wellness and uncover the gems of nutrition.
We're your hosts, Ashley,
And Twyla,
and together we'll embark on a journey to explore the power of healing whispers and the transformative potential of superfoods.
from ancient remedies to modern nutritional science, join us as we unlock the secrets to vibrant health and well-being.
So sit back, relax, and let the healing whispers guide us to a world of wellness.
And last time in episode 2 of Healing Whispers and Superfood Secrets, titled Stepping Out of the Darkness and Into the Light, a transformational journey to discovering your purpose and embracing self-love, we dived into the transformative journey of self-love, willpower, and purpose. Through meaningful conversations and actionable advice, we explored how cultivating self-love establishes the groundwork for achieving goals, harnessing inner resilience, and uncovering life's true purpose. Go have a listen of this empowering expedition of self-discovery and personal growth. So it's on our YouTube and our Spotify, as well as it's posted in our Facebook group. And we'll put the links in the comments below to both our YouTube page and our Spotify and the Facebook group.
Welcome to episode 3, Exploring Nature's Pharmacy, where we embark on an intriguing journey into the realm of plant medicine. Today, we uncover ancient wisdom behind psychedelic remedies and compare their transformative benefits with the vibrant world of superfoods. Join us as we explore how nature's pharmacy offers diverse pathways to profound healing, catering to those seeking wellness without reliance on traditional drugs.
And today we are honored to welcome a true luminary in the realm of plant medicine. He's a revered leader and dedicated light warrior whose wisdom illuminates pathways to healing and transformation. His deep understanding and significant commitment to holistic wellness, Jason joins us to share his years of expertise and guide us on a journey through the rich tapestry of natural remedies. So please join us in welcoming Jason.
Hello. Thank you so much, Twyla. Thank you, Ashley. Super excited to be here.
And what's the most excited thing about this episode, or what are you most excited about?
Hanging out with you ladies and talking about what we're going to be talking about soon. That's seriously, I'm super excited just to share my background, to share my knowledge and wisdom, to share what I've been exploring for the past 25 years of my existence, and to give it to each and every one that's listening right now. So I'm excited to share.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time out of your day to share this with us and the world.
Yeah, super amazing, super exciting.
Yeah.
So we're going to just jump in. Plant medicine is often hailed for its profound wisdom and healing potential. It holds a rich tapestry of historical and cultural significance that spans a millennia. So delving into its roots reveals a fascinating journey across diverse civilizations worldwide.
And some examples of ancient civilizations and traditional healing practices are through the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, Chinese, and indigenous peoples. Have developed advanced herbal medicine systems, and the shamans and the medicine men and women use herbs for physical, spiritual, and emotional healing.
Yeah, and there's also this holistic approach to health. So we have systems like the Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine who view health holistically using herbs for physical, energetic, and spiritual healing.
And in summary, the ancient civilizations viewed plants not just as a source of medicine, but as conduits for spiritual growth, illustrating a deep respect for nature's wisdom.
Yeah. And as we unravel that historical tapestry of plant medicine, it super becomes evident that these ancient civilizations across the globe utilize plants not only for their healing properties, but also as conduits for spiritual growth.
Psychedelic remedies are substances known for their ability to induce altered states of consciousness and profound psychological experiences. And they have been used traditionally in various cultures for spiritual healing and ceremonial purposes. And here are some notable examples.
So we've got the ayahuasca in the Amazonian rainforest. We have peyote among Native American tribes. We have psilocybin mushrooms in Mesoamerican cultures. And I mean, there's a huge list of all kinds of other ones. But we'd like Jason to share your experiences with psychedelic ceremonies and their transformative effects. So take it away.
Yeah, totally. So super happy to be here. Look, everyone, I'm 42 years old. My journey started when I was 19. So, at the age of 19 years old, I came across a few books. I came across a few documentaries, and it expanded my consciousness and my awareness to dive deeper into plant medicine. Now, when I first started at 19, it was really all about nutrition. And I really just focused on nutrition, and I focused on fasting. And I started changing my lifestyle, certainly around like nutrition and fasting. What happened with me at a very young age is I started recognizing that there were other sides of plant medicines. So instead of really focusing on food medicine, I was focusing on learning more about plant medicines, and we can call it psychedelics or alternative consciousness. But when you tap into what this really offers an individual, it's not really psychedelic. It's not really an alternative consciousness. It's really just you. Just becoming more aware of the full spectrum of the full consciousness of who you really are. So when we use the word psychedelic, yes, we can use the word psychedelic. We can use the words alternative consciousness. Those are great words to learn about plant medicines and also food medicine. But what I've come to figure out in the last 25 years of exploration and discernment and experimentation, it's just really a full expression of fully understanding who you really are at a deeper conscious level. And at times that can really scare people. It scared me. It scared me. So when I got onto this nutritional path and I started cleansing myself and I started purifying myself and I started detoxing myself on all levels of my existence, physically, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, socially, economically, financially, ayahuasca came into my life. Now, ayahuasca came into my life and I started researching it and started kind of doing my own due diligence around it all and the history around that particular plant medicine and the roots and the home of ayahuasca that comes from actually South America, comes from Peru, comes from the motherland of the Amazon jungle. But I said no to it. And the reason why most people say no to this path, actually what they're creating and attracting, is because they have a lot of fear. They have a lot of fear of this one word. It's called the unknown. They have so much fear of the unknown. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I pushed it to the side and I didn't really dive deep into it. I knew it was there, but it wasn't ready for me at that particular time. And so I just really focused on focusing on living more of a plant-based lifestyle and getting away from animal products and processed foods and really just focusing on other elements of healing and transformation. And then I started noticing that as I was healing myself physically, certain emotions were coming to the surface. And as those emotions were coming to the surface, I needed to give myself permission to fully feel through those emotions so I can dive deeper into my healing. And then 10 years passed. And when I was maybe at the age of 33, ayahuasca came back into my life. And so I immediately went out to the jungle 2 different times for 2 weeks, 2 different times with 4 different shamans. And I did 8 ayahuasca ceremonies out in the jungle in a 2-year span. And this is what I've learned with ayahuasca. First of all, these plant medicines have been longer. They've been around longer than humanity. You know, they say humanity's been around for over 300,000 years. Plants like ayahuasca, mushrooms like psilocybin, peyote, San Pedro, these been around for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. So as I started diving deep and challenging myself with these awakened a consciousness intelligent plants that give us the ability to see ourselves for who we really are, I recognized that these plants have incredible amounts of intelligence, tremendous amounts of intelligence. And if we allow ourselves to surrender and open our heart, body, and mind and soul to the potentiality of what we can learn through the intelligence and the wisdom that these plants can offer us, it can do many, many beneficial things, not just on a physical level, but on a deep emotional, spiritual soul level. And that's exactly what happened to me. And so what happened is, after I started experimenting with ayahuasca, I started experimenting with deeper fasting, deeper water fasting. I started experimenting even with urine therapy. I got into juice fasting. I got into dry fasting. I started recognizing that I was having an emotional relationship with plants. I was actually having an emotional relationship, just like how we have emotional relationships with our spouse, with our children, right? With coworkers. You can have a deep, intimate, emotional relationship with your environment and with nature, with animals, with the insects. And I started becoming really sensitive to like this internal private dialogue that I was having with the intelligence that was surrounding me. And then I became really sensitive to the pollutions out there. You know, I became really sensitive to the poisons and pollutions in the oceans and all of the life in the oceans and the rivers and the lakes. And I started feeling the pain and the abuse that is happening within the animal life, the animal kingdom, within the jungles and the forest. And this is a gift. And this is what people are afraid of, because the unknown becomes the known. And when you start feeling things and you start recognizing and becoming aware that you can have an emotional conversation and have a personal, intimate dialogue, not just with humanity, but with nature and its environment, you start recognizing how much pain really is in the world. And you start making choices and decisions how to redirect, how you use your time, energy, money, and talents. Because you become really responsible. That's what it's about. It's about becoming 100% responsible as a human being on how you use your time, energy, money, and talents, because all of that matters. Your energy, where you put your energy, where you spend your money, who you're supporting based on corporations and businesses and products and services, it all affects, in a positive way or in a negative way, not just humanity, but everything and everyone in every home, through the soil, in the waters, in the air. It touches everything. So I had to make a personal decision. I had to make a personal decision for myself. Sorry, I got some bings coming up right now. I had to make a personal decision for myself. Okay, if I can feel all of this now, and there's a certain wisdom and intelligence that I can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell on a different spectrum of intelligence, I have to, there's a duty now. There's a self-duty. There's a self taking full ownership and accountability that, man, I need to change my life, because what I do is actually negatively impacting the world or positively impacting the world. And then I started coming up with these conclusions of, you know, what Gandhi says, you know, if you really want to change the world, you got to change yourself. And the truth is that one person can change the world. That's how crazy we are. And that's how crazy I am. And I'm okay saying that. Like, I'm okay being okay with that, because when you get in touch with these plants, when you get in touch with your environment, you know that they're communicating to you because they want to live in harmony with you. And that harmony and that resonance that they want you to tap into is love, because it's all about love. It's all about being more loving. And, so I just wanted to share a little bit about that. But yeah, you can go ahead and jump on in if you feel if you want to.
Wow. Wow, we invited you on, and like I just didn't, like, we already had a conversation about this episode, and I just like I didn't expect for all of that to come out of you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing that. It's just an amazing experience. I've had experience with plant medicines like ayahuasca and peyote, but I've only had one ceremony, one of each, like ceremony, peyote ceremony, ayahuasca ceremony, and I did get a lot of like profound, like wisdom, knowledge, like self knowledge from that, and also like feeling the pain of the world. Like, so I so relate, and I really appreciate. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you made the decision to move forward. I feel like every human being that's on the path of self-discovery needs to experiment with psychedelics or alternative consciousness. They need to, if they're really like looking to grow and to evolve in different levels of love, highly recommend it. But also too, being in this space, you want to be conscious, you want to be cautious, you want to take, full ownership and accountability of like where you're going, who you're associating with, where you're getting your ceremonies from, what rituals you're going to, because this space can be diluted, it can be distorted, it can be manipulated, it can be brainwashed, it can be controlled and lied, and just like with everything else, it can be distorted, just like religion can be distorted. It can be distorted just like spirituality can be distorted. So if the individual is willing to really seek truth and they're desiring that truth, and they really come from a genuine, sincere, open heart space that they want to hang out with people in certain locations and situations with the right people that have a loving heart, you're going to create it and you're going to attract it. It's going to happen. You definitely want to put yourself in a safe space where safe facilitators can lead and guide you in a very professional way of soul expansion, if you would want to call it that way.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And for me, I'm kind of at the beginning of really going down that route, and just recently actually had my own. I've actually had more of like a recognition of the fact that, I mean, I've been having conversations with bugs recently, and like just like all the like. And, even a couple years ago, I started to recognize that I really had a profound relationship with bees. And I was like just cleaning, and I had like a glass door, and the bee just was in just the one spot, was not moving, and I'm just like starting to talk to the bee. I'm like, are you trying to communicate with me? And like the bee's like interacting with me, and I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. And then I noticed every day that bee would come to my window when I would be working at my desk, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. So then then you start diving in and looking into significance and more to just what you're experiencing, and it makes it really cool. And then also just recently having a cry session with a cut down tree, and like, so I'm really starting to open up to that more, and just allowing it to happen. At first it was kind of uncomfortable because there were still people at the park and whatnot, and I'm just sitting here like petting this tree and like talking to it, and then I got to a point I'm bawling my eyes out with this tree, and I didn't know why, but I've really felt for the tree, and I really related with the tree, and it's brought me to that point of really being more intentional about incorporating, the plant medicines in my life, and, making those changes that you were talking about, really having that longing for, the right people and the people that, are on that same, journey that I am. So, yeah, but,
No, I love
so thank you.
Ash, no, I love it. Like there's, look, I've been on this path now for a while. I microdose on psilocybin. Every 2 to 3 days, I'm microdosing on mushrooms. Every 3 or 4 months or so, I'm doing massive big hero journeys with mushrooms and other plant medicines. This is part of my path. But it's what I wanted to share with you, Ash, real quick, to jump on what you were saying is it's only going to get better. The accuracy and the acuteness of the conversation of what you're feeling within nature, within humanity, it becomes more accurate. Just how clear you can understand me. It's the same feeling and emotions when you're connecting with nature. I've had multiple beautiful experiences with bees. This is one of the reasons why I have a honeybee on the lower of my neck. I've had beautiful conversations with the fish in the river. They were actually telling me how they're suffocating in polluted water and they can't breathe effectively. They can't eat effectively because of the pollution in the water. They didn't talk to me. You can feel it. You can feel it because the plant medicines, psilocybin, has its own root structure. Just like you have neural pathways in your brain, psilocybin and mesocilium, the root structure of the mushrooms, are in the soil. It's the central nervous system of the earth. Just like you have a central nervous system in your body that communicates your emotions. It's the same thing with the earth. So this central nervous system that you're plucking out of the soil, or whether you take it from a leaf or a root and you call it ayahuasca or you call it San Pedro, it doesn't matter. What's happening is when you smoke it or drink it, it expands your central nervous system to tap into the central nervous system of the feeling of the earth. So that's the dialogue that you're having, but you're not just doing it with the earth, you're doing it with the insects. And there's a lot of people out there, they're like, Jason, who cares about that effing ant or that mosquito or that cockroach? Let me tell you this, everyone. Everything has a purpose for maintenance, structure, organization, and cleansiness. Everything has a purpose. It doesn't matter the belief system that was created in your childhood where you're looking at a cockroach and you're like, oh my God, that's disgusting. We got to step on it. Or, oh my God, like, look at, there's a spider. That spider has a purpose. That insect, that mosquito has a purpose. That ant has a purpose. Okay, there are bugs in the soil. There are worms in the soil that get rid of heavy metals so we can live healthier from the soil. We need those bugs. We need those insects. And to pass this on real quick, I want to share a quick 2-minute story about honeybees. You're going to love this. This is the reason why I got the tattoo. So I took 3 grams of psilocybin and I went out to the park. I'm by the river. I'm enjoying the sun. I'm enjoying the colors. Connecting with God. I'm connecting with myself. And this bee lands on my head and I'm swiping it away. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get stung. I'm swiping and I'm messing. I'm like, no, not right now. Not right now. I don't want to deal with bees right now. And then I had to check myself because this is what plant medicines do. They check you. And I was like, damn, I'm scared. What am I afraid of? So I started asking these questions like, I'm afraid of getting stung. I'm afraid of physical pain. I'm afraid, I grew up allergic to bees. Not anymore because it's changed because I've emotionally purged a lot. But like, what about if I swell up again? What about if if my lungs collapse and I can't breathe if I get stung? And so this bee lands on my chest and the bee starts talking to me. I could feel it. And she said, just let go and surrender. Let us do our job. And I'm like, damn it. So I'm in this park. I'm like literally 10 feet away from the sidewalk. There's families walking the sidewalk. My shirt's off. I'm all, I'm tattooed up. This time I had long hair. I'm in my swim trunks. And this bee lands on me. I'm like, I'm surrendering. I'm going to feel through my fear. I'm going to feel through whatever needs to come through me. And then she called 20 other bees. So now I'm being swarmed by bees. They're landing on my head, my ear, right? And I'm shaking in fear, like, and I'm shaking in fear, and the bees are like, just breathe and let go and surrender. And I'm shaking in fear because I'm afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of all sorts of things, and things are just coming up to me. And I started recognizing that the bees were actually organizing itself on certain meridian points on my body, and they were using their little tongue and tapping on certain energy points on my body to get these emotions and energy out of me. And I was like, oh my God, this is nature's acupuncture. No freaking way. So I'm like, and out of this, by this time, I'm in complete faith and surrender. Like, I know I'm safe and they're not going to sting me. They're actually for me. So I let go, and these bees are just crawling all over me, tapping everywhere. I'm releasing emotions. I'm feeling through these energies. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm being healed. So the bees fly away. And I sit up, and I'm like in this deep gratitude and just bawling like a baby. I'm crying. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, nature. Thank you, bees. I'm just in it. So then I'm being guided to lay on my stomach. So I lay on my stomach. That one bee that landed on my head and moved to my chest, it came back and it landed on my back. And I was like, again? And they're like, we got to do your back. And I was like, no way. And then she called her friends again. All of the bees came back, landed on my back, and did a whole nother session on my back. This lasted for 30 minutes as I was not watching, but hearing children and families walking the sidewalk, looking at me, and I could hear them. Look at that guy with all the bees on him. I'm like, oh my God, look at that guy with all these. He's crazy. And I was smiling from ear to ear. And I was like, I'm totally crazy, but I'm totally being healed right now. And that's the reason why I got the honeybee below my ear and now I have such a deep relationship with bees. And the bees showed me how to be more conscious and loving with even like the slight irritations and frustrations and annoyances that we get with mosquitoes, and and even the smallest little creatures that we kind of just bypass from. They taught me how to just slow down and recognize their purpose and their meaning in the world. So I appreciate you guys sharing. Let me share that story with you all.
That was super cool. That was
super, absolutely.
Super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so now to continue on. These remedies continue to be valued for their potential therapeutic benefits and spiritual significance.
Yeah, and this goes right along with this story. Like that therapeutic significance. It's amazing how these plant medicines connect us. So as we have mentioned, these psychedelic remedies are deeply rooted in the traditional cultures and are continued to be valued for their potential therapeutic benefits, spiritual significance, and role in promoting personal growth and healing. In recent years, scientific research has increasingly explored the potential applications in modern medicine, particularly in the treatment of like some of the mental health conditions such as like depression, anxiety, and PTSD.
And now, shifting gears to our superfood spotlight, we have nutrient-rich foods celebrated for their health benefits that support immune function, heart health, brain function, and overall vitality. Incorporating superfoods into your diet can optimize nutrient intake and promote overall well-being. Twyla, can you share about the specific superfood that we have been talking about that we think is a no-brainer?
Absolutely. Can you pull up that flyer for me?
Yes.
So this is pineal clear. And my personal experience with this stuff is like a day two. I came out of I had been doing MDMA. I woke up, I took my pineal clear in the early morning. It was a very healing like session with like the MDMA. And I did a meet your guide session with my friend Brooke, which just totally transformed me. And then I've been consistently taking pineal clear every single day for now, like I think 9 or 10 days. And it's just mind blowing. So this formula, like not only does it support the healthy inflammatory response and natural melatonin levels, bio and circadian rhythms, decalcification of your pineal gland. It's just absolutely amazing. And it says here, like it's formulated for your pineal gland. So this unique formula was created to support a healthy pineal gland, one of the 9 hormone producing glands in our body, in our endocrine system. So lifestyle factors and age can lead to calcification of the tiny gland that's in the middle of your brain, which is often referred to as the seat of the soul, which produces the critical hormone melatonin, and it supports healthy sleep and circadian cycles, and many believe aids in the forming deeper connections. Can you go to the second page? Oh yeah, so it's got stuff in it like the haritaki fruit, the Irish sea moss, the chaga mushroom, the turmeric root, the shilajit extract. And I've been hearing from a lot of different people that this like combination, like they're just blown away. And stay tuned for the end of our session here today, because we're going to show you a very cool video that Dave Sandoval, the owner of Curium, created for pineal clear. But that kind of just like opens up the conversation, because I know that Jason has had experience probably with the pineal clear. And so have you. But he was talking about, when we first discussed this episode, he was talking about the DMT and the sacred signature of each plant and how the DMT is in all plants. So if you could go deeper into that, Jason, that would be great.
Yeah, before I start there, why are our glands calcified in the first place? A lot of people don't recognize the reason why we're calcified and our glands are calcified, our thyroid gland, our pineal gland, and other glands that are in our brain, is because of the drugs, the poisons, the chemicals, the toxins, the heavy metals that are in these fake plastic Play-Doh poisonous foods and drinks that they sell at, what I call drugstores, but we call them grocery stores. Now, I still shop at grocery stores, but I do the best to purchase organic produce. It's not the highest quality produce, but it is better than most in these grocery stores. So the reason why we're calcified up, and that basically means we're tapped out, we're tuned out. We're not physically tuned in, we're not emotionally tuned in, and we're not spiritually tuned in. And what happens is when you're eating and drinking drugs and you're highly addicted to the chemicals and toxins like glyphosate and pesticides and herbicides and other, fillers and binders and artificial colors and artificial flavors that are made from human DNA. A lot of people don't know that either. That are made from, fear-based frequencies coming from animal products. This all calcifies your pineal gland, fluoride, chlorine, and all of the chemicals that they put in your bathing water, your tap water. This all calcifies your brain, your heart, and your gut. And when you're calcified, you literally turn into stone. You turn into stone. You're a brick. And it's super important. People don't recognize the importance of changing your lifestyle. Like, you're stoned up, you're a brick, your heart's hardened. You lack emotional intelligence, you lack intellectual intelligence, you lack communication skills and listening skills because you are a stone. You're poisoned. You're living a toxic, chemically processed lifestyle. And I have a lot of compassion for these people because I once lived that lifestyle as well. But we all have opportunities and solutions to get out of it, And what you're sharing with the Pioneer Clear and with its herbs and its roots that they have in its, its formulation, which I call a spiritual formulation that is being created by one of the most spiritually mastermind superfoods formulator in the world, David Sandoval. When you start taking these superfoods, which is basically plant medicines or food medicine, when you start taking it, it helps decalcify and detoxify the glands in your brain. So every plant has its own light structure. Every plant has its own color structure, its own frequency structure. You can call it communication, you can call it a vibrational energy, but every plant has its own unique sacred geometry of communication that speaks in DMT, which basically means it's just helping you purify from the heavy metals and the drugs and the chemicals and toxins within the body, so you can start becoming emotionally intelligent again. It's all about raising your vibrational frequency in emotional intelligence, which basically means you're giving yourself an opportunity to really understand deeply what love really means. That's what plants offer you. This is what superfoods offer you. This is what the pineal clear offers you. So with me personally, I love to mix the pineal clear with the apothecary and the ionic minerals together, because it just enhances yourself in so many ways. You feel like you're on top of the world. And if you do this, 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep or anytime during the day, you start remembering your dreams, which is another form of healing. Okay. And when you start remembering your dreams, you start giving yourself an opportunity to dive even deeper in the emotional intelligence of communication and what life can really offer you and what you can give life. So that's one of the most powerful reasons why I like pineal clair, and also mixing it with other superfoods that can enhance my ability to communicate with humanity and nature.
So, oh, go ahead.
I actually wanted to shift a few things here. So you're pretty much saying that there's this psychedelic effect happening.
Yes. What's happening, there is a psychedelic effect happening. There's an alternative consciousness. It's happening. It's just in different levels of degree. If you take pineal clear and you take other superfoods that we're going to talk about later in the episode, what happens is it's a very soft, it's very gentle, it's very soft. It's not as intense as taking a hero's dose with ayahuasca or with psilocybin mushrooms or any other plant medicines out there. But there is a psychedelic effect. Just like with everything else, when you eat an apple, everyone, you are going through a gentle, soft psychedelic effect. When you're eating organic produce, you can tell the difference between an organic produce that is coming from live, living, renewable, regenerative soil compared to an organic produce that's coming from a grocery store where their soil is being reused over and over again, thousands and tens of thousands of different times. You can notice the difference, right? You can feel the difference. That's a slight, gentle psychedelic effect of communication. It's just a gentle of awareness of what the plant is offering you at the central nervous system, at your cellular system, and your consciousness system. But there are other plants that if you choose to dive deeper and it becomes a little bit more intense, it's kind of like when someone is talking to you in a soft voice, or someone is yelling at you and saying, "You got to do this." Ayahuasca is like, "You got to do this." And the pineal gland is like, "Oh, you can do it." There's just two different approaches of how we're communicating with the plants. And that's what plants offer. Plants offer you different styles and tones and volumes of the communication, so you can kind of gently ease yourself and maybe doing a hero's dose with ayahuasca.
So Jason, can you share with the listeners the difference between the superfoods and the processed foods, what you're actually getting from them?
Yes, superfoods, you're getting live, living electrical communication. The body thrives on electricity. We call it nutrients and minerals, but the body thrives on living electricity. Okay, this physical body is the most sophisticated biological computer software program. We call it a physical body. Okay, and it thrives on electricity. This is why the body, when you start purifying itself and detoxing itself, it resonates with the sun. It resonates in harmony with the moon. This is why when you start purifying yourself, you want to start swimming more in the oceans and the rivers and lakes. You want to start grounding yourself with your feet on the ground because you're in complete resonance with nature's elements. It's electricity. We live in an electric magnetic frequency realm. We call it the world or the earth, but the body thrives on electricity. That's the major difference between dead processed food and superfoods, or you can call it whole foods, but it's just food. You know, it's just food. Dead food has no electricity in it. Dead food has no minerals and no nutrients in it. Dead food has no light, no color, and no sound. That if you put it underneath a microscope, the geometry of that dead food it's chaotic. It's havoc. It's not structured. It's not organized. It's not beautiful. When you put a superfood like spirulina or chlorella or the Egyptian wheatgrass called camu blend, and you put it underneath the microscope, you can see this beautiful geometry like a flower, like a lotus. That's exactly what the body harmonizes on. When you test superfoods compared to dead food and you test it with like an electric light, you can literally test the electricity of a superfood and it lights up a light bulb. You can test like a drink, like a poisonous Gatorade or poisonous alcohol or poisonous tap water or any other food, and you can test that food and the light bulb doesn't shine. Why? Because there's no electricity in that dead food. And that dead food is just filled with, fillers and binders. It's filled with drugs, everyone. It's filled with drugs. And it's purposely designed this way to get you addicted to these drugs and drinks. And these drugs and drinks are the biggest physical addiction in the world. Just imagine, like, the moment you were incarnated in your mother's womb and she gave birth to you, you're sucking on your mother's breast and you're eating whatever your mother's eating. And most mothers, I have a lot of love and compassion for everyone out there, but most mothers and men are just feeding their babies drugs. That's how I was born. That's how I was raised. And so I know it takes a lot of effort and a lot of focus to get off of these drugs. It's been scientifically proven that the drugs that they put in these foods and drinks are more addicting than heroin. That's why I'm so soft and gentle and compassionate for my soul brothers and sisters out there, because I know how hard and tough it is. I've experienced it. But if you really, truly have a desire to grow in self-love and self-worthiness, and you really want to respect the kingdom of heaven inside of you, you'll do whatever it takes to make different choices and decisions to get off of these dead, processed, drugged up foods. So that's the difference between processed foods and superfoods.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And you mentioned some of the superfoods, and one in particular, the camu. And I'd like to kind of break down the conversation that we had a couple weeks ago by starting out with my experience. Back in September, I got gifted some of that camu. And if you could pull up just the slide for the camu, Ashley.
I do not have camu pulled up. We didn't find that.
Oh, just from iShop. And I'll just continue.
You start talking, I'll pull it up.
Okay. So back in September, I got gifted some of the camu, which this is an ancient grain that was found in a tomb, and it was in a jar with I think 7,000-8,000 seeds in it, and only 7 or 8 of them sprouted. And so this is it has amazing benefits, and we'll get into that in a minute, but I got gifted it back in September and I tried it, and oh, there it is. Um, go down just a little bit. So this stuff like may support natural cleansing processes. It's a great source of chlorophyll and green vegetable nutrients. It aids in the achievement of healthy pH levels. But I got gifted it and I started taking it and it made my throat burn. And I just told Jason about this a couple weeks ago, and I love what he said. If you could share about that, Jason, about what was happening in my throat and why that was happening.
Yes. So the Kamut blend is one of my favorite superfoods. I purchase that every month. The deep green, the deep earthy dark greens is phenomenal for cleansing the blood, cleansing your glands, balancing out your estrogen and testosterone levels, your hormones, so you're mentally and psychologically stable and grounded throughout the day. The Kamut has a deep earthy taste to it, but please don't be scared by it. You know, that's part of the medicine. You know, that's part of the medicine. Now, what's great about these deep greens is that you're also taking chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll matches almost 100% to the blood of your body. Chlorophyll. Also, with deep greens, they've measured the frequency of these deep greens, and it comes out to 528 hertz. If you don't know anything about 528 hertz, 528 hertz is a particular frequency or a sound which resembles love. So when you start taking these greens, these love frequencies that match almost perfectly to the blood of your body, what will happen is you start cleansing yourself at a deep cellular system. And what happens is emotions can start coming up to the surface a lot easier. Now, most people in the nutritional space, they really only, a lot of them get stuck and stagnant, and they just focus on nutrition and detoxification without diving deeper into the healing, which is all emotional trauma. So when you start taking these plant medicines, or you can call them superfoods, into the body, emotions will come up to the surface. And particularly with you, Twyla, you started feeling pain in your throat. Now, if you were my client, I would say, you know, Twyla, there's something that you're emotionally suppressing, denying, or avoiding at the throat chakra that's still causing you pain. You're not allowing yourself to feel through these emotions that need to be purged out of you. So if it's in your throat, it's just showing us that, okay, hey, am I still withholding my truth? Am I not being really authentic in every moment of my life? Am I still lying to myself and others? Am I still withholding truth with myself and others? What do I not want to see or hear or feel that's causing pain in my throat? And when you start asking yourself these questions, you start recognizing that all emotional trauma comes from our childhood years. So we've been trained and coached from mommy and dad, from our generational ancestral bloodline that's in our DNA. And we start recognizing that, oh man, I've been taught to be quiet, to be silent. I've been taught not to share my truth, because why? I'm afraid of being punished. I'm afraid of making a mistake. I'm afraid of, you know, getting hurt or attacked some way. So I'm not going to tell the truth. But if you give yourself permission to feel through these pains in your throat, you start recognizing that, man, there might be a lot of irritation and frustration and anger and rage that's inside the throat that needs to get out. There might be fear and grief that's in my throat that needs to get out. And all I'm doing is just connecting with my body. For me, I have a deep, intimate, personal relationship with God. So if you do this with God, which is this divine oversoul, living conscious entity that has masculine and feminine qualities and attributes, that has no sexuality or gender, that you and I can have a personal relationship with, healing becomes a lot more easier. So I'm doing this with God. I'm expressing my truth. And then eventually I'll feel through the anger, I'll yell if I need to yell, scream if I need to scream. I'll feel through the fears. Eventually, I start crying like a baby. And then the moment you start crying out the root cause of your emotional trauma that's stuck in your throat, the pain goes away.
Wow.
Pain
Yeah,
goes away.
see, the thing with me is I thought I was having an allergic reaction.
Yes.
And it's so mind-blowing. And then we have this conversation a couple weeks ago, and you're like, you need to start taking it again. Like it's a block in your throat chakra. So I started taking it again. I had that amazing session, the Meet Your Guide session. And of course I'm on like the pineal clear and all these other superfoods. I'm sorry, my toddler is trying to break in right now. But Simone, can you please go help him? Anyway, the shift just happened for me. It was amazing. I know that there's still some probably like anger and stuff that needs to be worked through. But obviously my babysitter is not doing his job. Come here. Come here. This is what's so great about this business is we get to be moms and be ourselves and like, you know, be real. But yeah, so there's like with that Meet Your Guide session, like with the Camus like combined and the pineal, like all these superfoods combined, like the healing happened and the shift happened, and now I'm able to use my voice more, and like everything in my life shifted. Everything did. And the Camus is like the Camus and the pineal gland, like, and all the other superfoods are the reason for that shift. So
let me share something real quick, Twyla, about people's belief systems. We've all been trained and coached to, when things get uncomfortable physically and emotionally, we want to like kind of justify and minimize things based on what was taught to us as children. So we automatically only go to the things that we know. So we think like, oh, this is an allergic reaction. Or since I'm sneezing a lot and I'm coughing a lot and my eyes are red, oh, this might be an allergy. No, it's not because of allergies. You've been taught that from unloving pharmaceutical companies that control the Medicare system and the governments. They've taught us to make you believe you need allergy medicine or that you're allergic to something. No, your body's uncomfortable and it's purging and detoxing in certain ways that make your eyes red, that make you sneeze, that blow your nose, you're feeling uncomfortable. The goal is to feel through it without rushing to anything. You know, you might take some light superfoods or you might fast on some water, but the goal is just to allow the body to just do its thing naturally and organically as you're feeling through your emotions, and all of the puffiness will go away. All of the redness will go away. The snot will go away. The coughing will go away. The sneezing will go away. All of it will go away if you're just emotionally transparent with yourself and allow yourself to feel the unknown about all sorts of things that will come to the surface.
Yeah. You're not dying. You're healing.
You're not dying. You're not going to die. You know, you're not going to. And if you do that, the next morning when you wake up, you're just like on top of the world. You're like, oh my God, yesterday was hell, but I feel so good right now. You know, that's how it works, because the body is just putting itself back in its natural homeostasis environment.
So it's really funny that you brought up like how we're, trained to automatically think and react in the ways you were talking about, because as she was finishing, I also was thinking about how we are naturally like our first instinct when we actually feel the pain or even stuff that's not like emotional, like physical pain, is like, get it away from me, like, but if you really think about it, like what you are explaining and what we're pretty much like all talking about here is that how much that pain is actually the stepping stone to actually getting to the healing part. And, for me, it really is like a whole, mind over pain type of correlation, because like, so I have a very high pain tolerance when I know about it and can focus. So like I've had 4 all natural childbirths that I did by myself, and one of them was even backwards. And that's supposed to be, one of the most painful experiences, that women go through. And knowing that that was what I was going to experience, and having, the prior experience, I was able to, focus and, whether it's, focusing your vision on something, listening to music, just anything to kind of get you out of that physical experience, allows you to go through it. But if somebody were to come up beside me and just punch me in the face and I had no idea it was happening, I would probably be more of a baby about that happening, because I didn't have any prep. I didn't have anything in my mind to be like, oh, this is about to happen. Don't focus on it. Take yourself somewhere else. But I can go through, all these natural childbirths and get through them so much easier than someone coming behind me and punching me or pinching me, or like not having that, prior whatever. And then Twyla, you made that comment about you're not dying, you're healing, which reminds me, there is a book that I would say probably like towards the beginning of my journey I came across, that's literally called You're Not Dying, You're Just Waking Up. I'll just share the cover real quick, because it's really great when you do start this journey. It really breaks down like all the stages, and like reminds you that you're right where you need to be, because that's a reminder that's really important a lot of the time when we go through
And
this.
you're just
You're right,
healing.
it all is unknown. But so this is the cover of it. It's by Elizabeth April, and then I'll just read the back real quick. It says, "Hello, curious soul. There's a reason you were drawn to this book. Maybe you're dissatisfied with life. Maybe you feel there's something bigger out there waiting for you. Maybe you feel crazy or alone, like part of you is dying. Well, you're not dying. You're just waking up. It's time to strap in and hold on tight, because this is not your average text. It's your soul's reminder of how powerful you are. Stop living your life in safety and stagnation. Stop making choices through obligation and attachment. Step up, live your life to the fullest. You are ready, and the world is waiting." So that's a great read for anybody out there that kind of wants to have a little bit more of like direction with their journey, especially at the beginning stages, as you kind of start to find yourself. But back to the superfoods. Overall, pretty much incorporating superfoods into your diet really helps to optimize your nutrient intake, support bodily functions, and promote your overall well-being and vitality.
Yeah, and it can really be that vehicle for healing. And so just remember, like any kind of uncomfortability in your body, pain in your body, it's just a way for you to heal, to like for that to come to the surface, for you to go deeper into not just like the physicalness of it, but the emotional and the spiritual side of it. So now let's explore the fascinating intersection between the ancient traditions and modern wellness trends by examining the unique benefits of psychedelic remedies and superfoods and kind of like bridging that gap. Each offers distinct pathways to health and well-being, tapping into both the spiritual and physical realms.
Yeah, so psychedelics such as psilocybin mushrooms, ayahuasca, and peyote have been used for centuries in various cultures for their profound spiritual and psychological effects. These substances can facilitate deep introspection, emotional healing, and a sense of interconnectedness with the universe. Modern research supports their potential in treating mental health conditions like depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and the spiritual insights gained from psychedelic experiences often lead to lasting changes in your perspective, promoting a greater sense of purpose and well-being.
And then we have the superfoods, like there's spirulina, turmeric, acai, or like even like the stuff from Purium barley green juice, kamut, pineal clear, all those things, so much more, are renowned. They're all renowned for their dense nutrient profiles and health benefits. Rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other bioactive compounds, they support physical health by boosting the immune system, reducing inflammation, and improving overall vitality. So incorporating superfoods into the diet can lead to sustained energy levels, enhanced cognitive function, and protection against chronic diseases.
So both psychedelic remedies and superfoods originate from rich cultural traditions that emphasize holistic approaches to health. While psychedelics offer pathways to spiritual enlightenment and mental wellness, superfoods provide essential nutrients that nourish the body. Together, they represent a comprehensive approach to health, addressing both the mind and the body.
So, the reason why we wanted to point out like compare the benefits of like the psychedelics and the superfoods is like a lot of our listeners may not be ready to go super deep into the psychedelic realm, or like the psychedelic drug realm, because that's too intense or maybe against their belief systems or whatever. So you always have this opportunity to explore the superfood realm and get some of the same benefits. And so by understanding and integrating the benefits of these powerful tools, we can cultivate a balanced, holistic lifestyle that honors the wisdom of ancient traditions while embracing modern scientific advancements. Whether through the mind-expanding journeys facilitated by psychedelics or the life-sustaining nourishment from superfoods, we find ourselves on a path to greater well-being and harmony. And this is kind of like where I wanted to open up for some more open conversation around this.
Yeah, so Jason, can you share how both the superfoods and the psychedelics, the plant medicine, have the different purification and detoxification properties?
Yes. So let's start here real quick. I wanted to bring this up. You know, when we talk about Purium, everyone, Purium is a food company. Really that simplistic to understand. It's a food company. In my opinion, it's the most loving, living, electrical food company in the world that specializes in gentle physical and emotional detoxification, giving the person an opportunity to fully thrive in full vitality with living nutrients, minerals, antioxidants, and enzymes. It's a food company. It's an online food company that's being easily shipped to your home in a very convenient way, giving people an opportunity that live fast-paced lifestyles to get superfoods, raw, organic, pure premium, living whole foods, food, real food shipped to their home so they can start treating themselves better, their spouse, their children, their families, their loved ones. It's a food company, everyone. Now, when you're dealing with superfoods and the purification of it, it's going to communicate to you in its unique, sacred, perfect way for that individual. This is why I love what I do, because the plants do all of the heavy lifting for me. I don't need to convince you on anything. The only thing that I would love to share is my experience, my story, my testimonial, my authentic voice. Because the moment you start choosing to eat real food coming from the most purest company in the world in the food industry called Purium, the plants will speak perfectly for that individual based on its physical condition, its emotional condition, its soul condition. So, and it's in a very gentle, soft way. It's not, you know, you're going to get uncomfortable at times. That's part of the process. That's part of the healing process. At times you might feel like you're dying, but the truth is that you're actually dying and shedding like a snake and becoming reborn and awakening to the dream that you're creating. Now, when you're going with, you know, deep, intense hero dose plant medicines, like with ayahuasca and mushrooms and other plant medicines out there, you do give yourself an opportunity to dive even deeper. But I also wanted to share this with you. This is very important to everyone. When you're cleansing yourself, everyone, and you're detoxing and you're eating better and drinking better, what's going to happen is you become more acute and more accurate with your mediumship abilities, with your psychic abilities. And what does that mean? It means you're able to see things. I see dead people. You're able to see things and hear things and feel things that most people cannot see, hear, or feel. Let me share this with you. It's all natural. It's organic. It's supposed to be this way. And this is why people are afraid of the unknown, because they don't want to see dead people. They don't want to hear them. They don't want to talk to spirits. They don't want to talk to other people in other dimensional locations that, used to have a physical body, that used to live in this physical realm, and they just live in different, some of them are loving, some of them are unloving. So they don't want to see it. But the truth is if you do have a desire to detox and purify yourself with a gentle purification process with Imperium, and then maybe do a hero's dose with ayahuasca, it's going to happen. You're going to become more accurate and in-tuned and tapped in to being able to see lights and colors and sacred geometry of all different matters, of the different spectrums of what the infinite multiverse can offer you, with all of the different life and different dimensional locations that you can communicate with. And the truth is, me being on this path, on the psychedelic path for 15 years, it actually becomes more fun. I don't share this often, but I'm going to share it now. Most people have no idea the tens of thousands of people that I've helped in other dimensional locations that were lost and confused and emotionally damaged children of God. Now, when you become medium, when you become a psychic and you start having conversations with these people in other dimensions, you have an opportunity not just to help people in the physical body, in the physical realm, but you also have an opportunity to help our soul brothers and sisters that they're stuck, they're stagnant, they're in different worlds, different realms. They have matter just like us. They're just in a different frequency, but they're living. And a lot of these people are hurt. And a lot of these people, you can call them demonic, you can call them Satans, you can call them unloving people, but they're people like you and I that are looking for a way out. They're looking for healing. And they've been stuck in that condition for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. And this is actually part of what I do as a transformational life coach. It's just not with this physical realm, it's with other realms that you can participate in. And the reason why I share that is because Ashley and Twyla, you have the same opportunity to do that. The people that are listening right now, there's a reason why you're listening to us right now in this moment, because you have an opportunity not just to help your family and friends in this realm, but you also have an opportunity to help other soul brothers and sisters that need assistance for healing as well. So
yeah, like the healing, we're all one, like everything's one. I just told this lady who was trying to talk to me about religion the other day, and she's like, so do you believe, like, she's asking me all kinds of questions about spirit, and like, she's like, so do you believe that the spirit created this planet? And I'm like, the spirit is Earth. Like, Earth is the spirit. We are Earth. Earth is us. And it's like, it's constantly creating itself in each and every single moment. And so thus, yes, we are co-creators, but then we have, like, we're all wounded. Everything is wounded. The Earth is wounded. Like, and so that's the opportunity of being able to go on deeper levels and heal. Like, so what you're doing is amazing. It's just healing across the board. And that kind of brings me to this last little bit that I wanted us to talk about. So you can get on the superfoods or whatever and heal your body and everything, but what happens when the healing stops, Jason?
Oh, well, eventually that's going to happen. Eventually you will become physically healed. Oh my goodness, I could go on with this. I'm not going to talk too long about it, but I'm gonna talk just a small glimpse on it. Eventually, the pain goes away, physically and emotionally, based on what I've experienced in the last 15 years of going deep in my own emotional trauma and what I've experienced growing in love and getting closer and closer with the Creator. What happens is we all have an opportunity to become angels, and the pain goes away physically and emotionally. The pain goes away sexually and socially, financially, and what happens is you actually start growing infinitely in love. It never stops. So, terms like benevolent or becoming Christ-like or Christ consciousness, this is all real. You have an opportunity to become an angelic, benevolent, celestial, divine being with the ultimate source creator. And this metamorphosis process from the worm to the butterfly never stops. You will continue to grow. And as you continue to grow in this love frequency, you actually attain more gifts. I've already talked a little bit about it. You become more medium, more psychic, levitation, flying, healing with your hands instantaneously, moving objects with your energy. Ooh, let me share this with you. Creating your own universe with your soulmate. Oh, let me share this one with you. Most people don't know. When you become at one with God and your soulmate, you have an opportunity to create your own souls in your own universe. So the gifts just keep expanding. You keep growing and evolving in this love frequency with the Creator, and you start living in this pure joy, this pure happiness. You start feeling a completeness and wholeness in your pure loving consciousness, and nothing triggers you any longer. Nothing triggers you, and you fully live in that authentic self without giving a damn what other people think about you, how they feel about you. If they physically or emotionally or verbally attack you, it doesn't trigger you like it used to. So those are some of the gifts that you attain once the pain goes away.
Oh, I just want to share my shirt since you had made this comment earlier about it being organic and not to freak out. It says don't panic, it's organic.
Love it.
So are we to the conclusion?
Yeah, I just wanted
Okay.
to say one little thing. If anybody is obviously interested in any of the work that Jason does, you can reach out to him. If you're interested in learning more about the superfoods, you can reach out to any of us. And yeah, we have gift cards available, like all kinds of stuff. So, and tons of knowledge about each and all of the superfoods that there are and what their benefits are and how they can help you. So yeah, just reach out.
All right, so today we've explored the ancient wisdom of plant medicine, the transformative potential of psychedelic remedies, and the nutritional benefits of superfoods. It's clear that nature's pharmacy offers diverse and profound pathways to healing and well-being.
Yeah, and we just want to thank Jason for joining us and all of his immense knowledge that he shared with us. And just, yeah, thank you so much, Jason.
Twyla, Ashley, I love you, soul sisters, so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was fun. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing. It was mind-blowing. I wasn't expecting it at all. So we just want to encourage our viewers to explore the natural alternatives to traditional drugs through pharmaceutical companies and even through our food, and discover your own paths to health and wellness, through plant medicine and superfoods.
And we also would like to invite you to join the Facebook group Healing Whispers in Superfood Secrets podcast, where you will find a wealth of resources to support your wellness journey and educate you on superfoods.
And join us next time on Healing Whispers and Superfood Secrets as we continue to uncover the fascinating topics in health and wellness. Our next episode, we will be exploring how true wealth is built on a foundation of good health. So in closing, Ashley, can you please play that pineal clear video from Dave Sandoval?
I sure will. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Hey friends, Dave Sandoval here. You might know me as the Purium Guy. And I'm coming here because I'm super excited to be talking about a new product I've been developing for more than 3 years. It's a product called Pineal Clear, and it is designed specifically to focus on the needs of our body and to potentially support the most misunderstood of all of our organs, the pineal gland. In case you didn't know, your pineal gland is a critical part of your endocrine system. It actually helps regulate your circadian rhythms, which are part of your biorhythms, and it's the source of melatonin. It secretes melatonin to help regulate your sleep patterns. Scientists have a funny name for it, the epiphysis cerebri, and it's located beneath the back part of the corpus callosum. It literally dictates our entire sleep cycle. It got its name because it's shaped like a pine cone, and by far, it was the last part of the endocrine system to be understood, and they're just learning more about it today. The pineal gland is one of 2 hormone-secreting organs located inside of your head. Now, the endocrine system is part of the glandular system. It's the part that secretes hormones. Your endocrine glands are the only glands that release hormones, and our other glands produce, well, digestive juices, sweat, tears, and things like that. An interesting note, your hormones literally tell your body what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. They send their messages through all of your organs, through your blood and your skin. And there's 9 different organs and glands that are part of the endocrine system. Some fun facts about your pineal gland. René Descartes was fascinated with the pineal gland. Of course, he had no medical training. His esoteric description of the pineal gland as being the seat of the soul has no basis in science, but it is very poetic and maybe a little bit apropos. It was first written about by the ancient Greeks in the writings of Galen. The Latin word pinea actually means pine cone, and that's the root of the word, adopted by the French pineal. Scientists have since learned that the pineal gland is an integral part of your sexual development. It's actually part of your sympathetic nervous system, and it appears that the hormones from the pineal gland could actually pass through the blood-brain barrier. It's been called the third eye because of its location at the center of your head, right between these 2 eyes. Some esoteric traditions believe that it serves as a connection between the physical and spiritual realities. And although that is a belief and not a scientific fact, it does produce one critical hormone, melatonin, which takes us into our dream state. And that dream state connects us with the deeper part of our memory and helps shape our reality. Each ingredient in Pineal Clear was selected not because there's proof that it helps improve the health of your pineal gland, because science has stated that there's no proof that anything can. Instead, each of these ingredients was selected specifically by me because of its unique phytochemistry, and because I believe enough evidence exists in legitimate scientific studies that show that each of these ingredients has qualities that support a healthy brain. And to me, enough indicators that it ultimately will prove to be the gold standard for pineal health. The first ingredient is turmeric, and turmeric comes from the root of the Curcuma longa plant, which is in the ginger family, and its most researched ingredient is called curcumin. When studying various clinical trials, I found that curcumin has been shown to support improved memory. It also supports a reduced decline in neurocognition and the potential to enhance the activity of other antioxidants in your body. Now, there have been many promising clinical trials and research studies that show that it may help improve memory and may help your body deal with inflammation of the brain. Researchers believe that it may help reduce the decline of neurocognition. and studies also suggest its antioxidant effects can increase the effectiveness of other antioxidants. Another promising study shows that people with reduced BDNF production are prone to depression. A study has shown that curcumin actually helps boost BDNF levels as it increases levels of serotonin and dopamine. Shilajit, also known as the conqueror of mountains and the destroyer of weaknesses, is the next ingredient I want to describe. This is an organic mineral compound that's formed in deep mountain crevices and dark caves at very high elevations. It is biological in origin, meaning it originally came from plants and plant parts. It's been used for 4,000 years in folk medicine, and it's mentioned in the writings of Aristotle, Razi, Biruni, and others. It is actually a mineral tar or resin that is soluble in water and contains over 20 identified valuable elements, including selenium, unique carbohydrates, magnesium, hydrocarbons, just to name a few. Now, perhaps the secret to its effectiveness is that it is composed of a majority of humic substances, such as humic and fulvic acids, and it contains traces of gold. In fact, we specifically chose black shilajit because it has the highest levels of gold. Now, a study in the International Journal of Alzheimer's noted that it has been used traditionally to improve longevity and to slow the aging process. And it's currently being studied for its promise in controlling cognitive disorders and for its key components like antioxidants and compounds that may help control inflammation and reduce free radicals. In 2012, a study was published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology that found that it helped reduce symptoms of chronic fatigue and improved cell functions and naturally increased energy. It's been shown to have promise in helping improve the brain's cognitive processes as well. Now, the next ingredient, chaga, is an unusual fungus that some consider a mushroom. It actually grows on birch trees in freezing environments in Siberia and Canada. But botanists aren't sure if it's even a mushroom at all. Chaga can grow to be over 30 pounds, and they actually help the birch tree remain healthy. In fact, diseased birch trees that do not have chaga growing on them have been healed by simply adding chaga to their bark. And humans have been using chaga in folk medicine to aid and support digestive issues and skincare for thousands of years. It contains the master antioxidant superoxide dismutase, which is the most powerful of all the antioxidant and reparative enzymes in our body. Research studies have made scientists optimistic that chaga may assist the human body in slowing the aging process, but of course more research needs to be done. Siberian tribes that included chaga in their diets on a daily basis had significantly greater lifespans than tribes from the same region that did not consume chaga. Traditional Chinese and Korean practitioners have valued chaga since ancient times. Iris sea moss, also known commonly as sea moss, but in scientific circles as Chondrus crispus, is a red edible algae. It's edible like sea kelp or sea dulse and other types of seaweed, but it grows in tidal pools, typically in North America and the British Isles. Now, many cultures have long used sea moss for its beneficial properties. Science shows that it contains an abundance of nutrients like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and iodine. It's also a good source of vitamin B2, vitamin C, and beta-carotene. It's an excellent prebiotic, and it's been shown to be a good digestive aid and improve overall health of your digestion. In some countries, it's even considered an aphrodisiac. Now, I believe it's an excellent complement to the other ingredients in this formula for all of those reasons. Finally, I've saved the most interesting ingredient for last. Perhaps the most valued herb in all of Ayurvedic medicine is called haritaki, Terminalia chabula. It comes from a large tree that grows throughout the forests of Central and South America. It's deciduous and it's indigenous to Southern Asia. Now, according to folklore, the first haritaki tree sprouted after 2 drops of eternal nectar came down from the heavens and touched the earth. In the East, it's known as the king of medicines and referred to as the supreme nectar to illuminate your mind. It has traditionally been used to address digestive and inflammatory issues, and you'll find it in almost every Tibetan formula, even though it does not grow anywhere in Tibet. It was used by the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, and the Arab physicians. And as far back as 1610, it was referenced in the famous play The Alchemist, written by the British playwright Ben Jonson. Traditionally, it was used externally on the skin for wound healing, fungal infections, inflammation, and to treat the mucous membrane. It contains some of the most unique phytochemical compounds on Earth, like tannic acid, gallic acid, palmitic acid, stearic acid, and even behenic acid. And while there's no scientific evidence to support this, it's believed that harataki is the key to supporting a healthy pineal gland. So as I stated earlier, there is no scientific proof that pineal clear is going to impact your pineal gland. There is none. However, there is a lot of scientific evidence that it could. And I believe our pineal clear tincture is going to be perhaps the next generation of support for the pineal gland.